Hi guys, I'm Dimension Jumper and today we're doing my top 5 favourite Pokemon. Now for this list I'll be going over the Pokemon that I quite find interesting, whether it's the designs, some of the moves they can learn, and also some of these Pokemon that I will have used on my team throughout the Pokemon games. And I'll be mainly focusing on the Pokemon that you can capture. Not the starters you can collect. I will do a list of my favourite starters probably later, don't know when, but I will make a video on my top 5 favourite starter Pokemon, but these are just some of the Pokemon that I just find quite interesting and that I've used in my teams. So for number 5 is Crobat. Now for me personally, I think Crobat is one of those underrated Pokemon, mainly because of the evolution that it comes from. Because Crobat is the final evolution of Zubat, and what I like about Crobat is that I think it's the way Crobat is designed, because Crobat is basically this purple Pokemon, and it has like 4 wings on like the upper and lower parts of its body, and I just really like how it can, like, it's one of those speedy Pokemon that can just always take the first to attack in a battle, and I just really enjoy a lot of its moves, because it can learn moves like Haze, Supersonic, Poison Fang, Wing Attack, Air Cutter, Fly, and various other types of moves. And I think it's just a really cool design, and I think more people should re-look at Crobat and have some, and try and look at it more than just being the final evolution to Zubat. For number 4 is Aggron. Now what I like about Aggron is that it evolves from Aaron, I think it's Aaron, I think that's where it's the first evolution for it, and then it becomes Larion, and then finally becomes Aggron. And I think Aggron is one of those, not only can it take a lot of damage from opposing Pokemon, but also deal a lot of damage to Pokemon as well. And I really like its combination, which is Steel and Rock. And even though it's super weak to ground type moves, I just really enjoy how it can use various moves. And also what I like about using Aggron on my team and Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire is that I always like having an Aggron who have the ability Rocky Head, which is basically an ability that doesn't have that basically nullifies any recoil damage. So let's say if Aggron used double heads or double edge, I think it's double edge, then it would have taken damage, but because of Rocky Head, double edge won't make Aggron have recoil damage. So I think that's quite cool. And also with Aggron, I quite like its Mega Evolution, because it's basically this giant metal Pokemon, and I think it's quite cool. I kind of but there was a downside to it. I kind of wish that it was slightly more improved in the Mega Evolution department, but besides a minor improvement, I still quite like its Mega Evolution. And some of the moves it can learn are quite cool. So Double Edge, Rock Tomb, Metal Sound, Rock Smash, and various other moves that I quite like using when playing with Aggron. For number 3 is Alolan Ninetales. Now what I really like about Alolan Ninetales is that it's the very first fairy type, Ice Fairy type, I think, in the entire Pokemon series, and also it's the very first fairy type that I've used in the entire series since fairy types were introduced. And I think Alolan Ninetales fits both the Ice and Fairy type respectively, because not only is Alolan Ninetales got the Ice type coverage down to a T because of its body, how it exudes that ice element, but also I think it's sort of mysterious mystique physique to it, body, I don't know, and I think that's what makes it a cool fairy type as well. And I think it's a really cool design. I think it improves on regular Ninetales, because with the regular Ninetales, it's basically just, you know, a Firefox with basically a bunch of tails on the back. But with the Alolan Ninetales, I really do enjoy how it, instead of having just like, you know, a bunch of tails, it basically has sort of these, like, you know, so they kind of remind me of like clouds, you know, how clouds, you know, move about. It kind of reminds me of that, and I do enjoy like how the tails on Alolan Ninetales are worked, and I just really enjoy how Alolan Ninetales just design-wise it's really cool. For number 2 is Crocodile. Now, what I really like about Crocodile is that the one I use in my Black and White and Black and White 2 playthroughs is that the one I have it has the ability Moxie, and I think that's really cool. And also I quite like how Crocodile's designers use, because with Crocodile it starts off with being a Sandile, and then it becomes a Crocorock, and then it becomes a Crocodile, and I think with each evolution it gets more and more intimidating. And what I like about Crocodile is that I think the moves it can learn are, like, you know, are quite cool, because they can help you in a lot of situations. Like, you can learn Crunch, you can learn Stone Edge, you can learn Dig, and you can even learn Outrage, which is a Dragon type move. And I think that's really cool of how Crocodile, this ground and dark type Pokemon, can learn Outrage, which basically confuses a Pokemon after like 2 or 3 turns. And also, as I said before, the Crocodile that I use has Moxie, which is an ability that can raise the Pokemon's attack by 1, and I quite like using this type of Crocodile because it mainly helps me in some of the gym leaders and also the Elite Four, more specifically the Psychic type and Ghost type members of the Elite Four, and I think it's just really one of those really cool Pokemon all around. And for number 1 is Luxray. Now, what I really like about Luxray is that it was the very first Pokemon that I ever caught when I was a Shinx, and then I saw it evolve into a Luxio and then a Luxray, and I really like its design. I kind of wish it had the Dark type to it, so because it kind of makes sense to have Luxray have the Dark type as well as the Electric type. But I just really enjoy how Luxray just looks. I really, again, like Crocodile, Luxray has helped me out in some of the gyms, like the Water type gym, the Ghost type gym, and also with the Elite Four, it has helped me out with the Psychic type gym, and also some of Cynthia's Pokemon like her Milotic and her Togekiss. And I just like just think Luxray is a really cool Pokemon, and I think he's one of those Pokemon that should deserve a Mega Evolution, when Mega Evolution was a big thing when it was introduced in X and Y and Omega Ruby and Ever Sapphire. Kind of like feel like Game Freak missed out on an opportunity there, but if they do bring back Mega Evolution, I would like to have Luxray have a Mega Evolution and be like this really cool Pokemon that has the Dark type as well as the Electric type. So yeah, so that's been my top 5 favourite Pokemon. I hope you enjoyed that video. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and see you in the next video.